It was supposed to be a dream vacation. The Aurora Star, a luxury cruise ship, sailed gracefully over the Pacific Ocean. Laughter echoed from the restaurants, music filled the air, and the sea shimmered under the moonlight. Among the passengers were people from all around the world, couples, families, tourists, all lost in their joy. No one knew that within a few hours, the ocean would turn into their biggest enemy. Around midnight, the sky suddenly turned dark. Clouds gathered, winds grew wild, and waves began to rise like mountains. The ship trembled as thunder cracked across the horizon. Then, at 12:47 a.m., a lightning bolt struck the ship's main deck. A loud explosion echoed. The lights flickered once, twice, and then vanished completely. The Aurora Star was plunged into total darkness. For a few seconds, everything was silent, only the sound of rain hitting the deck. Then, panic began. People screamed, children cried, alarms blared, and water started to rush through the lower decks. The ship had lost power, the engine stopped, the radio was dead, and the great cruise ship began to drift helplessly in the raging sea. Water seeped into the cabins, corridors flooded, and crew members ran, shouting instructions, but the storm drowned every word they said. On Deck 5, near a tilted stairwell, 12 passengers found themselves trapped together. They didn't know each other, but fear brought them close. There was David, a retired sailor from Australia; Aiko, a Japanese nurse; Rahman and Sarah, a couple from Pakistan; Marcus, a young American student; Yumi, a Filipino chef; and 6 others, each with their own story, their own dreams. They realized that no one was coming. If they wanted to survive, they would have to save themselves. David, with years of experience at sea, took charge. He led the group to the service deck, where pieces of furniture floated in the rising water. "Use those tables," he shouted over the thunder. They tied them with dead sheets and ropes, added empty barrels for support, and slowly, painfully, built makeshift rafts. The storm howled like a monster outside. Every wave hit the hull with a crash so loud it felt like the ship was breaking apart. Still they worked, their hands trembling, hearts pounding. When the water reached their waists, they pushed the rafts out through a broken window into the roaring Black Sea. The 12 passengers floated into the darkness, tied together by a single rope so no one would drift away. Rain poured down on them. Waves rose and fell, tossing them like leaves in the wind. For 6 endless hours, they fought to stay alive. Aiko used her first aid kit to treat an injured arm. Sarah held Rahman's hand and whispered prayers. Yumi sang softly to keep their spirits alive. And David steered the raft using a broken paddle, guiding them through the chaos. The ocean tested them again and again, but they didn't give up. As the first light of morning broke through the clouds, the storm began to calm. The sea was quiet. Only the sound of soft waves remained. Through the mist, Marcus spotted a faint light in the distance. He pointed and shouted, "There, a ship!" It was a cargo vessel, MV Horizon, on its morning route. The rescuers saw the flares they had fired hours earlier and turned toward them. By 7:42 a.m., all 12 survivors were safely pulled aboard, cold, exhausted, but alive. News of the disaster spread across the world. Cruise ship Aurora Star loses power in violent storm. 12 passengers survive on makeshift rafts. When reporters asked Aiko how they survived, she simply said, "We didn't save ourselves with strength or skill. We survived because we refused to let go of each other." That night, the Aurora Star sank beneath the waves. But for those 12 souls, it wasn't the end. It was the beginning of a story of courage, unity, and hope against the endless power of the sea.